We'll continue with our Fab 15 high school basketball series preseason look at the top teams in the area. And here today with Trent Whitaker from New Pal, and 22-6 last year. And it's kind of, and we can get into this a little bit to start with, but you guys go from 4A to 3A, and it doesn't really change probably how you approach starting the season and getting ready for the season. But it is interesting. You go from a sectional championship 4A team that was playing with Ben Davis, who went on to the state finals, and now you're playing 3A. But I'll be honest with you, 3A looks pretty darn tough.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. The nice thing was, we won't see Ben Davis. We won't see some of those teams. We got tired of seeing them, Purple, Brownsburg, and Ben Davis, the last 2 years, being sectional 9 champs and moving over. But moving down, it doesn't do anything to us, as far as preparing for the season, as far as just who our schedule is. We got a pretty tough schedule during the season, and we do that just so we can get ready for March. And so nothing like that changes at all. But like you said, 3A is loaded here around the Indianapolis area with Cathedral and Addicts, and our sectional's not easy either. So Indian Creek is going to be really, I think, pretty good. And you got Shelbyville, they're going to be hosting. So many teams could win that sectional, and we have to play Dragon basketball and hopefully get out of there and see what we get the next round.
And it's going to take me a while to calibrate what these sectionals are now. I think Beech Grove's in there as well.
So it's the 7-teamer: New Pal, Shelbyville, Beech Grove, Greenwood, Rushville, Indian Creek. Did I miss one?
There might be one other one who's Roncalli.
Roncalli, yeah.
Yeah.
That's another team that's going to be strong this year.
They will be good.
They're going to be young. They were young last year, and we're good. Now they're a year older, but they're still going to be young.
And let's talk about, so you had this senior class, I know, coming up for a long time, that they were very good in this class. And we'll start with Julius Gizzi, he's going to be on our super team, preseason team. And I don't know if anybody, he averaged, he was close to 30 a game.
29, yeah. Just over 29, right at 29.
Yeah.
I think he was second in state last year, the Bell or Ball from Mechaniqua.
Right, Josiah Ball.
Ball. So, that's something that, I'd love for him to score 30 points a game, but to be honest with you, sometimes we're better when he scores 25 and dishes out 7 or 8 assists. So it's kind of a balance that we got to make sure that he can do a little bit. We can score from all sorts of ranges, inside, outside. With the basketball, without the basketball, the kid just moves, and he's got a knack for scoring. I always say a lot of times he's kind of got that old man game at times, where he's just got moves that up and unders and little hezzy steps, and they're slow, and it kind of messes up people sometimes. Also, the officials, every now and then, he'll call travels on him, but I don't think he does. So it's one of those things that it's going to be a balance for him. He's obviously going to be the focal point of every defense we play, but we got other kids that can step in and score as well.
He plays with such good, like you said, good pace. It's not like he doesn't play rushed, or he doesn't get, he slows the game down to his liking sometimes. And that's like you said, shows you played a lot of basketball. Oh, yeah. He's from a basketball family. Right. We talked at the start of last year. He changed his body. He just got in such great condition compared to where he had been.
Yeah, sophomore year. He gave us minutes off the bench a little bit. He didn't get the minutes he wanted, but the kid was a scorer, shooter. At that point in time, but he just wasn't quite quick enough to play varsity basketball at that time. He didn't like what he got, but the minutes he got, he took advantage of at times. But he was kind of like, I'm not doing that again. And I don't know. He just kind of went from there, and he went from, I think, about 235 pounds to 175, 180. So he dropped almost 45 pounds, and from there he just, we got that confidence, and he's gotten stronger, over this past summer, stronger and a little bit quicker, and so I think he wants to, obviously committed to Indiana Wesleyan, and I think he wants to go as a freshman there and try to get minutes there. So he's definitely put in the time in the gym.
And Indiana Wesleyan obviously has done very well recruiting Indiana, and has a great tradition there. But I know, Trent, you're obviously not a one-man team. You got Julius, but then 2 other guys who've been playing a long time. Moses Haynes and Ben Slagley, who those 2 guys, I think a lot of teams would like to have those 2. What do you feel like those 2 will bring to the table for you?
Moses just came back from tennis on Monday, and I just told him just the gym changed. He got louder, he got a little quicker, got a little more intense. He just kind of that leader of the team. He makes us go. He's the ball handler. But he gets so excited to get assists sometimes. I had to get on him today. He's kind of like, hey, shoot the basketball. You're a pretty good shooter. I think he ended up shooting 46 to 47% from the 3-point line. last year. So if he can kind of shoot a little bit more for us, I think that would be outstanding. But it's just not his DNA sometimes. So we got to continue to make sure we're not just finding other people and looking for Julius because, like I said, people are going to key on him. So he's going to have open looks and he's going to knock them down, and we'll get rolling there. And, Ben's been playing since his freshman year. Julius didn't get really going until sophomore year, but Ben stepped in about the Christmas tournament, his 11th tournament, and really hasn't got off the floor since then. So he's got such a unique skill set for us. He can handle the basketball for I'll say big guy, but he's only 6'3", 6'4", probably in the roster, but 6'3". But he can handle the basketball, he gets deep rebounds, can go coast to coast, and he can, he's been working on his shot a little bit this summer. So if he can step out and hit that three-point shot for us, it's going to be a little more difficult. Space on the floor, but also he can take people off the dribble. So you put a big on him, you put a smaller kid on him, he can take it down to the post, and so he just, like I said, has a unique skill set that does a lot of neat things for us.
Yeah.
So I think it was when we play those Lawrence North teams, quick schools, play Warren Central this year, they're going to get up and they're going to, take the ball out of Moses' hands, and Ben's able to bring the ball up for us as well.
Yeah, you can see even today in the open gym, he's really comfortable doing all that. So,
yep.
Who else, in this, rotation that you had? I think you only one main rotation guy.
Yeah, we lost Brady Armstrong last year. He was our one senior. He was a starter for us, and our fifth starter last year was Austin McMahon, who's also a receiver on the football team. So we have not quite seen him this fall. Hopefully, we don't see them till after Thanksgiving anyway. So we don't open up till December 6th this year. So normally we kind of lost our Thanksgiving football, or our Thanksgiving first opener because of football.
Right.
A lot of teams just kind of like, hey, we'd like to open up with somebody. And, a lot of times the last however many years we've had to move that game back anyway. So it's almost to the point, like, why schedule it?
Probably a pretty good chance. It could be that Chittard regional game maybe.
Absolutely,
but,
hopefully they both get there. I'd like to see it, But yeah, so it's one of those things that haven't seen him, but also McMahon was our fifth starter. So, and we got with Brady out, we've got a couple other kids that will step in. Another senior, Keegan Harrison, and we got a junior in Evan Dara that gave us minutes last year. So both those guys played. Really about a 7-man rotation, and so we've got some pieces coming back, and looking for one of those guys to kind of step in there and take the minutes. And right now, competition at the gym's been incredible. That's why I told them today after, kind of our workouts at Open Gym, when they play, they get after it a little bit, and they're battling for those last few spots because everybody knows you got the big three, and then Austin kind of just separated himself last year as a fourth starter because he did some nice things, defensively for us, and towards the end of the year got a little more comfortable with the basketball in his hands and just finishing around the rim. So I look for Evan and Keegan to kind of get those minutes early to kind of see who's going to be able to step in and take those. But then also we've got some other juniors that are starting to play a little bit for us. Then we got a freshman coming in that has a possibility of playing us too.
And that how many would that put in your rotation then playing?
Well, right now it's one of those. We've got I think 6 I'd say locked in, and then after that we got to see who steps in. It's all about competition, and we preach that all the time. Like you got to earn those minutes, and those top 3, top 4 kids kind of earned those last year, and so I'm looking for the juniors and freshmen, sophomores to earn them this year. So you only put 5 on the floor at a time, so it's one of those that no matter how many minutes they play, kids aren't happy, parents aren't happy. If they play the entire game, somebody's want more shots. So it's a balance, and that's my job as head coach to make sure that the kids and everything stays in the locker room, and we all believe in what we're doing, and it's best so that we can move forward and hopefully finally cut down some regional nets that we've kind of eluded us the last few years. So we got overall it's a great group. There's some other kids, Axon Hamblin and Leon Atkinson, and I'm sure I'm gonna miss one. Never good, but it's Will Davison is a freshman. He's looking pretty good right now this fall. But he's a young kid, and he's got to prove himself in the JV ranks first, and then we'll see how it goes. But like I told you before we got on camera, our JV team's going to be really, really stinking good because we've got 5 seniors, maybe a 6 if one comes out for football, and then our basically 7 through 12 are decent too. So other schools that may get a lot of minutes, but when you got a class in front of you, like this senior class, they're just not many minutes to go around.
Right.
So,
And this was a class, it doesn't always work out like this, but I think probably early on you could sense that this was going to be a good one. I mean, have you been looking, not that you look ahead to this seasons,
Right.
but at some point you're probably like, man, these guys are going to be pretty good if they stay together and all play as seniors together.
yeah, definitely. It's one of those that, a couple years ago we had Blaine Nunley and Ian Stevens and that crew, and these guys were sophomores. And Ben started that year. I think, honestly, Moses was our sixth man. Julius was 6 or 7. But Moses was a kid that you put on the floor, and it was tough to get him off the floor sometimes because he did so much for us. Took some pressure off Blaine bringing the ball up the floor, and also just knocked down open shots and defended. He plays extremely hard. So, like I said, Ben and Moses, they played a lot of basketball at the varsity level, and Julius is just a special talent that doesn't come around very often. So, so it's been a crew that we've looked forward to. Last year just having one senior is basically with the same team back. So, this is kind of the year that everybody expectations are high, not just in our locker room and on our team, but also the community. And we don't throw around state championship very often in the basketball world. It's just something that we just have. It's one of those things you got one step at a time. So we talk about get a sectional and get a regional. The school's never had a regional title in its history of 112 years of basketball, or what it's been, and it's only had 11 or 12 sectionals. We've been fortunate enough the last 9 years, and my team would have 4 of those. So. Just looking at that, and we're just let's get a sectional, let's get a regional, and this is the first time I've mentioned state championship to really anybody this year, and it's just one of those things that bumping down to 3A does kind of help that, but because you're not running into Ben Davis, but you're still going to run into great talent, and I'm glad that Addicts and Cathedral are on the same sectional. Yeah, that way you got to beat one of them, and hopefully things fall the right way that day that we play, because they're going to be very, very good too.
Right. And lastly, I know you're playing in a kind of a special the Forum Tip-Off Classic at Southport.
Right.
Any other unusual parts of the schedule for you this year, or is it mostly the same?
It's kind of the same. We with the Tip-Off Classic, we're playing Zionsville. We're not playing Zionsville. We played them this summer a few times, and man, they're really, really good. So that'll be an early test for us. Also, obviously Greenfield Central's in there early too. I think it's the same weekend. So we got Greenfield on Friday and Zionsville on Saturday. So that'll be
that'd be fun.
Be a battle. Greenfield's got us and then Ben Davis the next day. It's the Tip-Off Classic. So we're kind of in the same boat there. But we're heading back down to Lawrenceburg again this year for the Lawrenceburg tournament down there on the 28th, 29th, or whatever the Friday, Saturday is. We've got Castle and Lawrenceburg in our bracket, or our pool play. And then we picked up Warren Central this year. Picked up Indian Creek as well, since they're in our sectional. Hopefully get a look at them early. But other than that, we got Lawrence North coming here again. So our schedule's not easy. But like I said, that kind of gets us ready for the March, and hopefully got down some nets and all that good stuff.
And that sectional at Shelbyville, we were just talking before, that's one of the neater gyms in the area. So if you got nothing to do, go down and check that gym out and watch you guys play. That'll be a fun experience.
Yep, it will be. Like I said, that gym is incredible, and it's one of those things where we talk about sectional cut down nets, and to win one at Muncie and then Richmond and the Greenfield, and that'd be another nice gym to get one in. So. But like I said, we got to put in the work now until then. So a lot of things can happen. We always talk about you can't kind of have self-inflicted wounds. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have things that kind of don't go your way. But we just got to make sure we stay together in the locker room and everybody plays their role. That's huge. It's something we've worked on in our program quite a bit under kids understanding how do what you do best to help us win basketball games. Because that's people remember the numbers up on the banners and things like that. So but yeah, overall looking for a great year, and just got another month before we get rolling, and maybe longer than that if the football team does what they're supposed to do. So
it's almost here. But appreciate Trent Whitaker joining me, and again our Fab 15 countdown. We'll be talking to the top teams in the area and coaches, and appreciate you doing this, Trent.
Thank you.